Well, you guys, the Risky Ryan Was Right jar is starting to get very large, very full of money, and it's almost time for me to buy something fun. But instead, I'm just going to continue to invest, maybe make another jar to fill up. So last week, I was right about NVIDIA. The week before that, I was right about Shark Ninja. Both of them moved up 10% within 1 week. What is the big theme this upcoming week? That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to go over all the stocks you know and love: Palantir, HIMS, NVIDIA, SoFi, you name it. Unless it's Robinhood, we're going to be going over it. Let's talk a little bit about themes that are coming up next month and how I feel about what's going to happen next week. So, first of all, we have a slew of positive catalysts coming up next week and over the next 30 days. And I do think we're going to have a melt up. I mean, World War III, that's so last week. Now it's all positive stuff. Funny how this stuff works, right? So Trump says that he officially signed a trade deal with China. So we're going to get some details on that this week, I would suspect. Trump then says he wants the legal framework for crypto on his desk immediately. And trickling in over the last week or two are all of these stablecoin things. So like Pfizer is going to launch a stablecoin on Solana, which we're going to talk about Solana because I think that's my next fat pitch that I see coming up this week. We also have some things to keep your eye on news. You can now basically get a mortgage backed by assets that are cryptocurrencies, including the likes of Fartcoin. And we're doing this right at the same time that multifamily loan delinquencies are on the rise. So what we could see is an absolute blast off in the crypto market, and then probably somewhere around the time that those things shift or that's peaking, you see the housing market absolutely collapse. So we don't talk much about real estate investing on this channel because, quite frankly, I'm not that rich. I'm trying to get that rich, but I'm not there yet. If I 10x my crypto portfolio and I see this whole situation starting to like unravel, yeah, you might see me sell that crypto, move it into silver, which we'll talk about as well in this video, and then wait for the opportune time to buy some real estate, maybe sell my house, move, something like that. Make a little rotational play there. So this is definitely something to keep an eye on. So without further ado, let's get into the charts. We're going to start with Palantir because I think this is the most important thing to be looking at going in this week. I'm very bullish on the stock market, not very bullish on Palantir for next week. This is an ugly candlestick pattern. What we have is called the tweezer tops. You can look at Wix as price rejection. So it didn't open there, didn't close there. It just said no to the Wix. And the Wix are upper side, so that means that the price action is being pushed downward. And if I pull up my Ichimoku, there's a lot of confluences with my Gann angle. So what I could totally see is a liquidity grab between $104 and $110. Seems like there's just a big magnet right here, wants to go there. And if I go to a daily, first of all, it looks even worse. It could take some time for this to work itself out, but the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud exists alongside Gann angle and the Fibonacci levels. So yeah, once again, I mean, somewhere in this 100 to 110 zone, I'm expecting price to drift towards. And believe me, the value investors, the genius, they're so much smarter than you. These value investors are going to be shouting, "I told you so." Because, I mean, hey, that's going to be a big drop if that happens. If we come all the way down here, we're talking 30% drops. So, yeah, that would be a big drop. Guess what I would be buying if that happens? Some Palantir. Finally. Thank you, God. I hope it drops down to here. I hope we get to buy it at $100. And you know what? It makes sense. World War III is over. What do we need Palantir for? Yeah, not so fast. But look at all the volume on this sell-off. And they call this, what is that, a Marubozu Black? Is that the word? Yeah, it's an ugly, ugly situation. Price is coming down. But I'm not selling any of my shares. No. I'm just hoping that it comes down so I can buy more and continue to build my position, because you're not going to get my Palantir shares. I only have a couple of them. Well, more than a couple, but I used to have 100. Anyways, yeah, I'm not, like I said, not rich, but getting there maybe. So that's enough of Palantir. I could go through all my watch lists, but I'm just going to touch on the ones that I think make the most sense. So NVIDIA, if you go back and watch my World War III video from last week, you will have seen, this candle was not here, and I said, ooh, NVIDIA is sitting right in the pocket. This is exactly where I like to buy stocks. And so I bought. Oh, did I buy? I bought some NVIDIA. I sold other stocks to buy NVIDIA. I think, yeah, I dropped, for me, a good amount of money on it. And yeah, it paid off immediately. I didn't expect this to happen, I'll be honest. 10% move. I just was hoping that it would just, kind of chug along and climb this. That's always my expectation. My base case is that it just like hugs this thing until it doesn't, and then it falls apart. But usually that's not the case. Usually it confirms a level and then just moves to the next level as fast as it can, and then maybe it does a bull flag until it reaches back to support, and then it moves forward again. What can we expect of NVIDIA? So even if you bought today, or Monday morning or whatever, and you go 52 weeks out, where are we sitting? If we just hug this line, 21%. If like we're in a retest at that point in time, we're at 13%. So you're looking at 13 to 20% return on investment. That's my personal opinion. After a 10% move in NVIDIA 1 year from today, I would buy more. Like I already bought mine last week that I was planning to buy, but like I wouldn't even be afraid to buy next week. NVIDIA is still a buy, in my opinion. And we're at an all-time high with NVIDIA. So like we finally broke out of this. Remember in 2023 and 2024, it was just this nonstop, like parabolic move to the upside. It was just going up every single day. And then for the last about year, we just haven't talked about it much because it's just been kind of consolidating with this Gann angle that it worked its way up to, Gann arc. It's just a lot of resistance. It just punched through a bunch of it. And we could be at 226 by the end of the year. I would not be surprised in the slightest. Even the weekly Ichimoku has come alive, and that's a buy signal. So yeah, I spotted this last week, thankfully, but it's still not too late, I don't think. What else can we talk about? CrowdStrike hit $500, hit an all-time high. It is approaching some resistance. I would feel nervous buying more here, but that doesn't mean I'm not holding, and I still like it a lot. So I want to see how it reacts here, but I see other better opportunities in the market, like SoFi. SoFi is just an incredible opportunity, always has been, really. I have a new chart, and this thing, to me, is like way more accurate. You can see this big long arc. It hugged it. This was the time to buy it ultimately, and I was buying it in the 7s, 6s. But my average right now is actually $12 in one account and like $11 in another account because I've been averaging up. It's still a buy. This is a $25 stock, and ultimately it's a $100 stock one day. This $90 mark will get tagged, and if it does get tagged, that would be a 400% return. I mean, I will wait 5 to 10 years to get that 400% return with a business like SoFi, gladly, because they're such a quiet juggernaut. Like their fundamentals are a juggernaut. The stock isn't a juggernaut yet, but to me, this is like a value stock that is growing like a growth stock, and no one is ready to admit it yet. And they're about to get crypto. It's just, yeah. So there's a reason why this is one of my number one This is like my largest individual stock position. I like it a lot. I like management. It's just solid. It's just solid. Okay. Bitcoin. 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 I like it. Looks good. It's going higher, I think, next week. Yeah. Closed above 103. Ichimoku looks good. Close to this. It's a buy to me. Bitcoin is a buy, in my humble opinion. But I wouldn't be buying Bitcoin. That's not what I'm buying. I am buying, just going to go to it now, Solana. Solana. You know why? Look at it. It did exactly what I said it would do. So this is behaving exactly how I thought it was going to behave. We are 5 hours away from closing a potentially bullish engulfing candle along the Gann angle that I said it. So like last week, we were somewhere around here on a Saturday, and that's when. Oh, remember last Saturday we bombed Iran. It's welcome to the 1 week anniversary of bombing Iran. So how quickly this world moves. So I said, okay, I'm buying there. And then it came down. It hit Fibonacci level that I said it could come down to ultimately. And then it just popped back up. And now it's about to close over this Gann angle. And I really do listen. I hate making predictions like this because really, who knows? But like, man, it really feels like we're on the edge of glory here. I really think that crypto could be breaking out in a really, really big way in the next coming weeks, just like in the next week or two. And to me, Solana, of all of my charts, this one is telling me like, buy me, buy me, buy me. Like it's just so clear. Like the Gann is just so like look at this. It's just so obviously like, here's your support level, here's your resistance level. We have now, boom, boom. We confirmed this as support. I see no reason why I wouldn't want to pop out of the cloud, try to pop out of the cloud, and get above 225. Might have some struggles here. It might like take some weeks to get through here, but once it pops, buckle up. And like it could just punch straight through and just go parabolic, because that's what crypto likes to do. It just does that stuff. Okay. What else can I talk about? Tesla looks like it's close to support as well. I still think Tesla's a buy. Would like to see it come down to like below 300, but I think 52 weeks from now, we're still going to be 20% higher. So it's still a good chart. Shopify is getting to that borderline of like, ooh, like this might be, because if I go 52 weeks out, we're at what? 16%. We were looking at like 30%. Not that it's down here. 25%, something like that. So Shopify is still a buy. It's a really healthy company. But yeah, it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, now it's a little bit extended from support. Uber's, I really like where the chart's at with Uber. I'm ready to buy it, basically, as far as like a stock that I can believe in. I used to be kind of bearish on it because of the whole autonomous vehicle thing and Tesla bots are going to take over. It's beginning to look like that's not the case. It's beginning to look like, you know, Waymo is going to be around. Other Toyota, like other people they're all going to be using Uber. Uber has network effects. It's just so easy to just like partner with them, and then you instantly snap of a finger, you have billions of people that want to ride share with you. So I think Uber's here to stay. But we're in this time period where there's still a lot of people who are scared. And so what I'm waiting for, though, I want to see, and it's not that far away. It is like 8% move, really. I want to see it close above at least a couple more support levels. Because then you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 support levels like underneath holding it down. And it's just something very solid that you can stand on when starting a position. So I'm going to wait for it to show me some more strength, just kind of confirm that we're going to be breaking these all-time highs. And you'll see that as Uber as being like one of my next big positions that I want to add a lot to. Another position that I want to add a lot to, but it keeps running from me, is DoorDash. And this is a good segue because I was looking into Uber as a potential competitor with DoorDash. Uber Eats is, a very popular app, and I wanted to see how, is Uber going to like run DoorDash out of business? Like, what's going on there? Is that like a thing to be worried about? And I came across this. So let's go through this data here. 2024 revenue, Uber Eats, 13.7 billion. DoorDash, 10.7 billion. So pretty comparable. Year over year, though, Uber Eats has only increased their revenue by 13%, whereas DoorDash, 24%. So it's growing its revenue faster. It's catching up to Uber Eats very quickly. And DoorDash dominates the US market share, 67%. We all know the United States likes to eat. Quarter 1, 2025, DoorDash delivered record orders with growth in both food and grocery, turned profitable while Uber Eats showed slower per quarter momentum. So DoorDash, it might be eating Uber Eats lunch. And they're expanding their global blah, blah, blah. So DoorDash, it's kind of like one of those, like, you're too scared to invest in eBay because Amazon exists, but then it turns out, like, actually, no, eBay is kind of like, they have their little corner of the universe and they do a good job with it and they grow. I think that's going to be the same case here with DoorDash. DoorDash, this is a tough chart to buy just because it's a little bit farther away from support. We're now entering the arc where this could literally just like for like 15 weeks and come down 10%, and it wouldn't really like break the chart. So I don't really like that. But one thing I do really like, if I take this out 52 weeks, we're still up 28%. So to me, as long as my, overall idea here plays out, we're still looking at 28% 1 year from today. So to me, DoorDash is still a buy this week, despite the run up. And it could be breaking out. I mean, you could get your 28% in the next 2 weeks. Who knows? RSI is getting a little high. But the idea would be, hopefully, if you initiate a position here, like it would come up to 280 and then settle down somewhere in 250 and then, go up from there. So, yeah, DoorDash to me, still a buy. Post, I want to see kind of the same as Uber. I want to see it get up over 48 bucks. And then I will start buying like a decent amount. Because right now it's what I like to call no man's land. It's in between two Gann angles, so I can't really say like, oh, this is its CAGR trajectory. I am curious though. Let's see what 52 weeks out looks like. Toast, 10%. So like, yeah, but then again, it could reclaim this and just ripper. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? You'd never really know. I like Toast a lot. But I want to see it get up and over like 48 bucks, close a candle over there, on a weekly candle, and then I would feel better because then, you have support levels from 42, 43, and $48 kind of for it to like consolidate between and you be good. Hims, you be not good. Hims, holding on for dear life. I call this the cliffhanger. It usually doesn't really play out, my experience from what I've seen. I'm expecting a $30 Hims. So I'm very nervous to add here. I sold when it was in pre-market, it was 53 bucks, and I'm like, oh, it's breaking structure. Like, this, when I was telling you to buy a couple weeks ago, and I'll be honest, like, money out of the Risky Ryan right was right jar. I was buying some right here because, look at all these candles. It was going up this Gann angle. It was like proving to me that it was building a base on top of support, and this thing looked good. And so I said, okay, I'm going to buy some more Hims. And then out of nowhere, like Novo Nordisk with the chair shot when the ref wasn't looking, and like good night Hims, they basically did a hit job on them. So no one saw that coming, least of all me. And so, yeah, there was a big drop. There was a bounce, and I think you're just going to see people slowly hit the exits until we get into the 30s, and then I think there's going to be a greater share of people buying again. So that's my prediction with Hims. But anything could happen. the whole, like I said, World War III ended in a week, so this whole drama could end really fast too. But yeah, Hims for me is like a no touchy. It's just a hold. AMD, speaking, is also a no touchy. It's a hold. This could continue though. It could continue to move to like 170. But my position is built, and I wouldn't be chasing this stock at this point. I just wouldn't. I would want to see like, see where it tops out at. Let's get a little bit of a retracement. Like when the overall stock market has like a down week or something. Then I would want to see where the dust settles. But right now, it's look how much it's ripped, man. I mean, from bottom to top, this thing's up 90%. I hate buying after a stock's been on a 90% rip. It's just not my strategy. Zeta. Zeta looks good. The more I look at it, the better it looks. MACD crossover on the weekly, playing out. RSI about to cross back over the 50. That means there's a ton of runway if it continues a move like that. I don't like the big volume with the red candle, but I think it's a misnomer. I do. This is why it gapped up on the weekly. Let me go to the daily. You can see it a little bit better. So there was a big gap up, and it moved high. It came down. It retested this GAN level, and you do have a lot of support. So this is what I like. You got fib level, GAN angle, GAN arc, GAN level at 13. You have a lot of support. I bet if I were to do, yeah, you got a lot of support here at $14, $15. So to me, Zeta is a buy next week. I'll be probably adding more shares. I did add a lot of shares, but I think that basically it did the move that it did on the weekly. It had this red handle because it's coming down to close that gap, and it's settled right at the GAN angle, and this GAN angle is freaking great. 52 weeks from now would get you 44% roughly. Yeah, Zeta is a good opportunity in the market. I like it. I do like it. Nike had its biggest day right after I sold all my shares. Wish I waited like a week, but you never know when these things will happen. I didn't want to hold it into earnings just because on my GAN chart, which I feel like is very accurate, I want you to look at this GAN. See this? I do feel like this is a pretty accurate GAN chart. Maybe I could raise this up just a little bit, but maybe I could raise it. Let's play around with it a little bit. You can see kind of how I do this. So what if I raise this up? Oh, 0. So I raise it up a little bit. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, but you know what? I don't like this though, because this wasn't like, none of these GAN angles are really any good. That's my only issue with this. I think that's why I had it down here like that, because this was served as support. So I think a similar symmetrical thing will happen here. That's why, yeah, I still like it like this. That's why I have it the way I have it. Lock this in place. Okay. So I don't know that this is the bottom. I don't know that we bottomed. And even if we have, the way I look at it, we could literally, like 12 months from now, we could be down to $44. And yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it where it's at. Sorry. And it doesn't grow fast enough. Shark Ninja. Just moving on. Shark Ninja. This filled up the Risky Ryan was right jar quite a bit. I bought right here. I said, man, I think it's going to come down here because, like, look at all these red bars. It's like, oh man, I'm going to get it at like $80, and then it opened at $84, and I was like, what's really the difference? $80, $84, especially since I did this. I said, okay, we're going to be up a lot either way, so I'll just buy all my shares right there. And I'm glad I did because we're up 15% on those shares now in 2 weeks. So you should subscribe to this channel if you like money, because you'll make some. Not financial advice, but I like to make money here, and I like to share my thoughts. So that's kind of all that's going on in this channel. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Meta, Amazon, they're always good buys, great companies. Them and SoFi are probably my biggest positions. Nvidia has actually become one of my biggest positions just because it's grown so much. But anyways, hope you like that. Hit the like, helps me grow my channel. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. Comment below any of your thoughts. What do you think July is going to look like? And what stocks and crypto you'd like me to take a look at. And until next time, thanks for joining me. Risky Ryan, out.